Yo, what's good, boys? Welcome back to Jamball. Today we got three segments that we are doing. We're doing the recap of the playoffs. Second, we're doing the jammer of the week instead of jammers of the week because we can only pick one jammer of the week from here on out in the playoffs to show who did the best in the playoffs. And the third and final segment is predictions for the next upcoming playoff games. So with that being said, let's talk about the past games on the playoffs. So our first game, let's take a look. Rams versus Panthers. The final score was Rams winning 34-31 over the Panthers. Carolina was at home. Any thoughts about this, guys?
Panthers put up a pretty good fight against the Rams. This is one of those games that probably shouldn't have been that close with how favored the Rams were going into this, but the Panthers showed that they can hold their own. Yeah.
Mm, I think it's a good game by the both offenses are pretty good. Um, Obviously there was some good plays from the defense from both teams. One thing just for the Rams is that they need to play better on defense. Their defense hasn't been playing well the past month, and if they're gonna try to contend and be able to move on, whether it's being the Bears or whoever or whatever happens next round and the rounds after, their defense needs to be a lot better because the offenses are just going to get better from who they're going to fix. So they just need to be more consistent. That's the name of the game for their defense.
Yeah, I completely agree with both those statements right there. I think the defense definitely needs some work. You were letting too much slide with that Panthers passing game. I feel like your your run defense was pretty solid, but once they started airing it out, it was really hard for you to stop. So at that point, it turned into who could throw the ball further, basically. The Rams did escape out of there with the win. I will say that, but you guys are going to be playing some more difficult opponents, so you guys got to step it up defensively and be more consistent, like Angel said. All right. The next game we have is the Packers versus Bears, a very interesting game. The Bears won 31-27 over Green Bay in Chicago. Um, I guess I'll go first here on my thoughts. The Packers blew it. They blew a big time lead. Um, this is crazy because I took a nap. I woke up. Bears were coming back. I started watching the game, and it was slipping and slipping and slipping. The momentum was shifting towards Chicago, and that Bears offense started coming to life out of nowhere. Which that is definitely something you like to see if you're a Chicago Bears fan. If you're a Packers fan, obviously you're eliminated now. But now you have questions on if Matt LaFleur is going to stay or not, and if he gets fired or whatever. Um, I think the Bears played a good fourth quarter. I feel like a really good fourth quarter. Um, to avoid this kind of situation again, because if you place a team that is really strong and will not take uh their foot off the gas, I feel like you are not going to be able to come back. Um, don't get me wrong, this Bears team is great, but still was really close. And yeah, props to the Bears though. Packers, you cannot be letting up. What was it? A 21-3 lead, or was it? Yeah, 21-3,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, you can't give up a 21-3 lead like that, and just like you guys disappointed. You guys were very disappointing. Jordan Love, you played great. 323 for 4 touchdowns, but at the end of the day, you got to keep going, and you can't play 3 quarters of football. You got to play all 4 quarters. So that's ultimately why the Packers lost this game. So props to the Bears though for winning.
Yeah. good win for the Bears. Like Joseph already said, they were pretty down in that game, but they did come back for the win. Not a very good way to win games though, especially if you want to make a run for the Super Bowl. Uh, you have to play consistent all 4 quarters. You're gonna be going against the Rams next week. That's gonna be a hard game, and yeah, I just don't see you winning the next one.
Um, well, the Bears, yes, they came out with a win. Like both of these guys have said. They need to be better. They need to play better all 4 quarters. Because you're gonna be playing a lot tougher teams. Like you're gonna be playing the Rams. It doesn't matter if you're home or not. You just need to be consistent all game. You cannot have these mental mistakes happen like they happened earlier in the game. Yes, they did come back and win, but they need to be play well all 4 quarters. With the Packers side of the ball, they're Jordan. They were really good in the first half, really good. Obviously, the kicker had 7 points that could have been on the board for the Packers. Were all missed by by the kicker. And then also that their defense just didn't play like how Joseph said. They need to play all 4 quarters, like because that's the name of the game. Because if not, then things like that can happen, like we did see. But the Bears need to be better if they're gonna have a chance at beating the Rams next week.
Yeah, yeah, that's about it for that game. Our next game that we have will be, or it was, Buffalo versus Jacksonville. I think this game was all around a really good game. I don't really have too much complaints for either side. They played a really good football on both sides. There obviously had to be a winner. Unfortunate that uh, the game-winning drive when Trevor Lawrence was getting ready to have a legacy moment. Threw a pick, I believe, right? He threw a pick. I think bounced off of what's his face's. Not what was it? Washington? I think it was Washington's hands. Bounced off Washington's hands and then went into Cole Bishop's hands and just sealed up the game. This really came down to the last drive, so I don't really have anything bad to say. I do think the Bills were favored here, even though as a 6th seed going into Jacksonville, I still think most people saw Buffalo here as a good chance to come out of this and possibly put up more points on the board than they did. But I'm not going to take away any props to the Buffalo Bills because they played a great game. Jacksonville, you played a great game. That's about it. That's about it. Someone had to come out as a victor, and props to the Bills.
Yeah, I think Joseph pretty much covered it. Pretty good game between the two. Jags definitely showing some fight. Uh, but I would say this was another game like Panthers Rams where the Jaguars were definitely the underdogs for this one. And yeah, the Bills just pulled it away.
Yeah, I agree with both of them. It was a good game from both teams. Honestly, there was no one really played. There was no big bad spots from any of these teams. They both fought hard. We already knew it was going to be a close game even before the game started. So one thing I have to say is that the Bills just got to be better at protecting Josh Allen because I feel like he kept getting hit so much, whether it's because a lot of the pressures or it's because he had to escape or he didn't have enough time in the pocket. Yeah, escape. I feel like that because honestly, like you could see him that he kept getting hurt. There was a lot of stuff happening to him because of how many times he got hit, and I feel like that's just one thing that they gotta be better, especially when they play that Broncos defense because that defense is elite. They gotta be more careful protecting him and giving him more time.
Josh Allen definitely got banged up during that game. I completely forgot about that. He had like 3 different injuries that game, of which that alone is freaking crazy, and was dealing with a right ankle injury beforehand. So hopefully he can stay healthy for the rest of the playoffs, and let's keep it rolling. And keeping it rolling on to the next game, though. We have San Francisco versus Philadelphia. I hated watching this game as a Cowboys fan because both these teams I hate with a passion. But San Francisco came out with a W, 23-19 over the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia, and the Super Bowl champion or the defending Super Bowl champions are now out of the playoffs. With this game, I feel like there was a couple mistakes out of San Francisco. Purdy throwing 2 interceptions, you just can't do that. Defensively though, that 49ers group looked really good in the first half. A little bit in the second half until both teams started waking up, and then a couple big plays turned into a one possession game between both teams. I think for both sides offensively, you got to work on a couple of things. Eagles, for you guys to win that game, I feel like you guys needed to capitalize on a couple big plays, like from AJ Brown dropping a couple passes. It's not great. It's not great at all. He was targeted 7 times and only caught 3. AJ Brown got to come down with a couple of those, and it's not like he was the only one that did bad. And Niners dealing with a couple injuries as well, with George Kittle getting injured, which that sucks. That sucks for the 49ers going on into the playoffs because you lose your second best receiving option behind CMC, which did pretty damn good in this game. Yeah, I think these two teams have a lot to work on, and if the 49ers want to do good in the playoffs, they're gonna have to step their game up offensively, and they're gonna have to find a new recipe without George Kittle against the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, as another Cowboys fan, I deeply appreciate it, Niners, for beating the Eagles. But now for this week, go Seahawks. Um, and yeah, Eagles offense sucks. It's so bad. Uh, AJ Brown, let's see if he stays there this year. Um, with his fight with Sirianni, honestly, don't even know if he wants to be there anymore. But yeah, that offense pitiful. 49ers did what they had to do on defense. Offensively, CMC went off. Really sealed that game for them. And yeah,
This was a really good game defensively. If you prefer those defensive matchups, there was some really good defense from both squads. I will say that Robert Sala's defense is just it's great. Even with all those injuries and missing pieces that they have, they're really great. What needs to happen for if San Francisco wants to come out victorious against Seattle is that offense, like Jose said, about those 2 pretty picks. Obviously, he just needs to be better on putting the ball where he needs to be. They just need to be better as an offense, move the ball more. For the Eagles side of the ball, still pretty good defense from them. Their offense just didn't look good all year. It was really really poor. That's why today was obviously their offensive coordinator was fired. So hopefully they can find a new one who can help them establish that offense that we saw last year for sure. But right now, San Francisco for their next matchup, they just need to be better on offense and keep that same level of intensity on defense.
Yep, that's right. And we got the next game, which is Patriots versus Chargers. Jeez. The Chargers lost this game 3-16 against New England in New England. This was a very defensive game. Very defensive. It was just a matter of the Patriots defense forcing a couple turnovers, like a couple fumbles here and there. I think they forced 2 fumbles during. Yeah, I think they did. They did force 2 fumbles during this game. Chargers could not get anything going on offense. Honestly, Patriots didn't really get too much started either. I mean, it took a while for them to get a couple points on the board. But hey, you did what you had to do for the win. I just really hope if you're gonna be playing like this against other teams, your defense better stay like this, how they played against the Chargers, where they limited them to only 3 points. If that's how your defense is going to play, I don't really see a problem with you possibly making a run. Offensively, gotta get stronger. Gotta get stronger. Having Drake May as your leading rusher. I mean, yes, you see it every once in a while, but that just shows that you need a little bit more out of your run game. I mean, yeah, I think just offensively, the Patriots need to be more consistent. Um, Defensively, though, Patriots, good job, Chargers. Um, this is gonna be rude, but better luck next year, I guess. I don't really know what to say. Hopefully, you guys can keep that same squad from this year and carry that on and get some more playoff experience next year.
Yeah, like what Joseph said, is pretty defensive game. Unfortunate for Herbert to have his broken hand or arm. But yeah, just very defensive game. Patriots, I will say, if you think the Chargers defense was scary, good luck with the Texans. And yeah, we'll just move on.
Okay. Um, yeah, like both of them said, really great defense from both squads. Depending on what happens with the Jesse Mentor, whether he gets a head coaching job, it's gonna be a big loss for the Chargers, definitely, that defensive side of the ball. You know what? It's really sucks for for Herbert because honestly, I've heard a lot of blame on it was his fault and all that, but when you really think about it, he really got no time. Uh, to do anything. His offensive line was really bad. And then I saw a stat on his 31 dropbacks. There he had 30 of 31 of those dropbacks, 30 of the 31, he was pressured. So he only had one time where he wasn't pressured at all when he dropped back in the pocket. Well, that's really bad. Great defense from the Patriots. Their offense just needs to be a lot better when they play the Texans. Definitely, because that Texans defense is really great as they showed it yesterday. Yeah, that's really it. Patriots just need to be better on offense for sure, so they can beat the Texans next week. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And our final game is the Texans versus Steelers. The Texans winning 30-6 over Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh. Um, I could say this, all right. I didn't get to watch most of the game. I was gone, doing some stuff with my family outside. And when I came home, it was, I believe, 7-6. I think 7-6. Um, I clicked on for 1 minute, and everything started going the Texans' way. As soon as I seen that Danielle Hunter force a fumble, I knew the game was starting to shift. This Offensively, the Texans started to pick things up a lot. Um, Excuse me if I say your name wrong. Joe Quavius Marks, having a really great game. 19 carries, 112 yards, one touchdown, and Christian Kirk popping off too with 8 catches and 144 yards. I mean that's just a recipe for success, especially against the Steelers defense that is really great and looked upon as very very scary. The fact you were able to do that, that's pretty impressive. Even though it took a little bit, honestly, it's just a momentum game, and yeah, they got it done. Steelers, I mean, you didn't really get anything going on offense. Aaron Rodgers throwing a pick and staying under 200 yards, not great. Um, couldn't really get anything going on the run game either. I mean, that's really all I could say. I mean, your defense played great until they couldn't really hold anymore. So props to the Texans. If you guys keep playing like this, you guys could definitely make a run. Um, yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Yeah. Texans, their defense is elite. Steelers offense kind of bland. Um, I will say though, Texans, you need to step it up offensively if you want to have a chance at the Patriots. That offensive performance, not fun to watch if you're rooting for the Texans.
I agree with what both of them said. It sucks. Obviously, this was likely Aaron Rodgers' last game. Congratulations on his career, his Hall of Famer for sure. Um, it sucks the way he went out for sure. I bet he honestly, obviously, he doesn't want to go out in a loss, especially the way they lost to the Texans. This Texans defense shown why they're the best, one of the best in the league, and not the best. But obviously, like Manny said, that offense it's just not good. Like I know it says 30 points, but like most of it, because of that defense, the way they stepped up. Obviously,
Defense
Christian
scored
Kirk
two
had a good
touchdowns.
game. Yeah, the defense scored, yeah, and it was Christian Kirk obviously had a really good game for sure. But that's not that offense is not going to be able to beat New England. Yeah, because it's just not moving well with Stroud, and CJ didn't make a lot of mistakes. I think they had like three turnovers or something like that, like two fumbles and a pick. It's not the way that they're going to be able to beat the Patriots. So you just need to be better. Need to be more protective of the ball, but also be able to make bigger plays on offense like they do on defense.
Okay. Uh, Also, another thing, before we move on from the Steelers Texans game, Mike Tomlin also stepping down as head coach of the Steelers. If in case you didn't hear about that news, it happened later today or earlier today, excuse me. Um, yeah, so Mike Tomlin will be stepping down as the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And after that, our next segment, though, we have the Jammer of the Week. And today's Jammer of the Week. And usually we do 5 Jammers of the Week. So from 5 to 1, and maybe an honorable mention if they did good. But since it's playoff time, we got to pick only one. And our Jammer of the Week will go to Christian Kirk with 8 catches, 144 yards, and 1 touchdown. Really great game out of Christian Kirk. Not much I need to say here. Let's just move on to our next segment, I guess. What's our next segment? Sorry, cut this part out.
Picking all the divisional games.
See. Okay. Got you. Our next segment here, though, predicting the next playoff game. So, just flex it out a little bit. All 3 of us got all the games correct. Just flex on them a little bit. Perfect bracket so far. If you don't know, which they don't, we're doing this little competition between us and a couple of other guys for a promotion where you get a perfect bracket right, you win some money. So far, me, Manny, and Angel, Jamball has got a perfect bracket so far. So hopefully we can keep this going. And yeah, while Manny's doing this, the video is sponsored by Air. Take a deep breath when you're stressed. Take a breath when you need air. And yeah, now you're manually breathing. That sucks. Remember to subscribe. It's free. We're on the grind to 100. Hey, we picked it up. We went from 60 to 70. So let's get it up to 100.
100,000.
You said 600,000 or 100,000?
100,000. I'll be
100,000 by the end of this year. All right, let's get it. 100,000 by the end of this year. Let's get it. I'm gonna be the biggest football channel in uh in the state we are in. And
Stock stuff.
like I almost did. Can't get doxxed. Can't get doxxed by our own management team for real. We don't even have management. All right. Let me see. Okay, Manny, you wanna take it from here?
Give me a second. All right. Which is the first game? All right. Bills Broncos is going to be our first game. So, I have the Bills taking this one. To me, the Broncos seems like one of those teams that could be easily beaten. I mean, They've stayed in pretty close games with absolutely everyone. Even if they're good, I'll give them that. But even teams that are not so good, um, I do have the Bills winning here. I just think since the Bills got past the Jags, I personally think that the road gets easier from here, and that starts with the Broncos.
Yeah. Okay. Um, I have the Bills here as well. Um, I think, like Manny said, since the Bills got past the Jaguars, that was kind of a test to see if this playoff run can happen. I think it can happen. This Broncos team, I don't feel like they are ready to make a deep playoff run, and I feel like they're frauds. I feel like I'm gonna say it right here. I feel like the Broncos are frauds. Their schedule has been, it's, how would I say, there's good and bad, but you've been playing to the point where you only play close. So now you're playing a Buffalo Bills team that has a lot of playoff experience and is hungry to win a Super Bowl finally without Mahomes in the playoffs, Lamar in the playoffs, and Burrow in the playoffs. And from what I've seen out of Buffalo last week, I think Buffalo might kill Denver in this game.
I agree with both of you guys completely. Fun fact, the Broncos had the 31st. When it comes to strength of schedule, came in 31st, meaning that was the second easiest schedule in the NFL. Just and also just how close games were. It just didn't look good. Obviously their defense is great. Obviously they have a great defense, really good players on defense. It's the offense that scares me. Because like if you're playing, you shouldn't be struggling against teams whose defenses are really bad or just not a good team in general. If you understand what I mean. That's why I'm picking Buffalo. And the Bills, honestly, I think this could be their year. Uh, after all the years that Josh Allen has struggled due to, and it wasn't just and not just him, but like the Bills as a team against like how Joseph said, Mahomes, Lamar, and all those guys. Honestly, I feel like this could be their year. And honestly, I feel like how Manny said, the road to the Super Bowl gets easier now after beating Jacksonville, who I thought were probably the best team, the second best team next to them in the AFC.
Next is going to be the 49ers Seahawks. Here I have the Seahawks winning. Seahawks defense elite. Their offense can get it done. 49ers, they're a very injury riddled team. They've made it this far with those injuries, which props to them, first off. But that defense has gotten weaker, and that offense, it hasn't looked bad. Honestly, it hasn't looked bad. But again, the Seahawks defense is pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I have the Seahawks here as well. I do think those injuries are finally going to catch up to San Francisco, especially with that George Kittle injury from last week. You're going to have to find a new recipe, like I said earlier, against the Seattle Seahawks team, which has honestly the best defense in the league. We've seen where I think week 18 we've seen these two go at it for the number one seed, and I feel like Seattle just had a stronger squad than even when the Niners did have George Kittle. I felt like that squad was just very strong. I think Seattle is going to have their way with this one. It will be a close game, but give me Seattle over San Francisco.
Yeah, I completely agree. Seattle over San Francisco. Unfortunately, the 49ers have to go up. Obviously, their defense is really good, but this Seattle offense has been amazing all year. Been great. It's going to be tough for San Francisco. That's why I have Seattle winning. Plus, that Seattle defense is also really great too. It's just an all-around great team. Um, but yeah, I still think it'll be a close game for sure. But Seattle has the home advantage. So it's hard to pick against.
Okay. Next up is going to be the Texans and the Patriots. Um, I guess I'm starting off here with probably the upset. I'm going to be taking the Texans here. Uh, Again, defense really good. And honestly, I know Angel was talking about the Broncos having the 31st strength of schedule. I'm pretty sure. Prove me. Like tell me if I'm wrong, Angel. But I'm pretty sure the Patriots have the 32nd
Yeah,
strength of
the easiest
schedule.
schedule.
Yep.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just don't think they've played a real competition. Uh, of course they have beaten some good teams. They've beaten the Bills, but with this Texans defense, I think it will take them far.
All right. Yeah. I'm going with the upset here as well. Give me the Texans defense. Excuse me, the Texans over the Patriots here. That Texans defense is really good, really good. Um, I don't think this Patriots team is prepared to see what this Texans team is made out of because obviously, like had stated, and Angel fact proofed the um 30-second easiest schedule, or wait, no, the easiest schedule in the league. Excuse me. Um, Patriots. I know you guys beat the Bills, and I've been on your side for a while, for a long time, but I don't think I could be on your side with the Texans team that just looks all around scary that could make a run. Honestly, they could honestly make a run for the Super Bowl depending on if the Bills lose or if they handle business here against the Patriots really dang well. So give me the Texans over the Patriots.
Okay. Well, I'm the odd man out. I'm still gonna go New England because if I know anything about Mike Vrabel, if he wins a wild card game, he's making it to the AFC Championship and losing. That's a good thing, though. I'm saying as a good thing. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a close game. Honestly, I think it's gonna be closer than what the Patriots had to do with the Chargers and the Texans had to be with the Steelers for sure. If I'm gonna dismiss the Patriots' offensive performance to just them. I guess it's been a while since they've been in the playoffs, and that Drake May, even though yes, it's his second year and he played really well, I'm just gonna dismiss it to him like maybe having a little bit of nerves, but he already got to his first game. I think that if their offense clicks like how it's been the entire regular season, I think it's gonna be. I think the Patriots can win this game because both of them have really good defenses still, too. But if the Patriots offense can connect better than the Texans offense can, I think the Patriots should come out victorious in this one.
All right. First one we have not agreed on. But next up is gonna be the Rams and the Bears. Um, I have I have the Rams winning this, but yeah, like I said before, Bears the way they've been winning games, not a good way to win. Rams, honestly, Rams have been in some pretty close games as well. But I'm still gonna be taking the Rams here. I just think they're the powerhouse of the NFC right now.
Well, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be the odd one out here. I picked the Chicago Bears to win against the Rams here. Uh, I'm gonna have to defend this somehow. Chicago. I'm not gonna cap that. That comeback win was very good, very good. It's gonna be very tough against this Rams defense, or sorry, this Rams team in general. Excuse me. Um, this Rams team is definitely one of the best teams in the NFC, if not the best team in the NFC. But the way they played against the Panthers, if they play like that against the Bears, I don't know. I think the Bears do have a really good shot here, to take this away from the Rams. Especially because this is in Chicago too. Um, you have everything in your favor here. You've seen how they played against the Panthers, and the Panthers have been inconsistent, and the Rams have been a little inconsistent here and there. Um, but take advantage of this, and hopefully it goes your way. I do think this Bears offense has enough to keep up with the Rams. It's just a matter of if they can stop the Rams enough to where they could take advantage of that. So give me the Bears over the Rams here on an upset.
You know what, Joseph? You just inspired me, bro. I'm picking the Rams still. I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. Okay, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, I'm picking the Rams. I'm picking the Rams still. But I get you. I get your point, though. I get your point. But look, if this happens to to the Bears again, I don't think they're gonna be able to come back and beat this Rams team because this Rams offense is like, no offense to Green Bay, but their offense is like top tier. Um, I just feel like the Rams. This is a game to lose for them, or if that makes any sense. Like I feel like they have the best chance to win out of anyone who's playing this week for sure. I just feel like this defense just needs to be a lot better. Honestly, they cannot let what happened in Carolina happen again because it's not. It shouldn't be happening, especially with how great of a defense they have, how great of a defensive coordinator they have in Chris Shula. But I feel like if this defense gets back to the way they played early in the season, I feel like this should be not a cakewalk, but it should be a lot easier for the Rams this week than it was last week against Carolina.
All right. And that's going to be all of the divisional games. Leave a comment. Tell us what you guys think is going to happen in this divisional round. But that'll be it for today's video, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.